So I'm Grace and I am Community Engagement Coordinator at Selby Abbey, and I'm also Appeals Director for Selby Abbey Trust. So I look after the roof as well as the community aspect and all the activities that we do relating to heritage. One of the projects we've been working on, some of you on the call might have been involved in it at various points because it's been running since late last year, is Minecraft. So you can see here the west end of the Abbey if you're familiar with us. There we go. So it's part of what we call the High Street Heritage Action Zone. And this is a Historic England funded project that's looking at High Street kind of regeneration and stripping it back to what it used to be, kind of its former glory really, but there's a lot of cultural programs that go along with it. So one of the things that we decided to do was create the Abbey and the Abbott Staith, which is a warehouse that was part of the old monastery. In Minecraft, it lent itself really well to obviously the pandemic, because we were able to do it online and engage people that way. Just before we kind of start, feel free to put your cameras on if you want to. You really don't have to. I am recording this, but I'll start from when I kind of start the talk. So do turn it off if you don't want to be recorded. Feel free to kind of mute your mic if you're not talking. And if you want to ask a question, you can use the Q&A function. I'm without my moderator today, so I might be a little late on the questions coming in through the Q&A. Or you can just pop your hand up or unmute and just ask as we go on. Just the rest of the people. So I'm going to get going. So yes, this is the west end of the Abbey. I can fly on here as well so you can see it in kind of all of its glory. The Minecraft model actually took 120 hours to build. So it was done with a professional Minecraft building company. Who would have thought that they existed? And they actually, even though 120 hours seems like a lot, they copied and pasted a lot of the blocks. So there's a speed build version of it that I've dropped into the chat as well, that if you're interested in Minecraft building and that kind of element of it, you can see how they've built it and that kind of copy and pasting style of it. So I think if they'd have done it block by block, it would have been thousands and thousands of hours. So yeah, if I come kind of closer, you should be able to see they've also kind of copied and pasted all of the windows in, which is incredible, and you don't often see it in kind of Minecraft models. So that's our west window there. Down. Ooh, can I just ask you to mute your mics if you haven't already, just because we're getting a bit of feedback on the chat. So if I just going to walk around so you can see the outside of the building. So like I said, this is the west end. So we're coming around to the south side of the Abbey. If you are familiar with Selby, so this is the crescent. So these are the trees that back onto the crescent. And this is kind of our southwest view. So we go around. So for those of you who don't know a little bit about the Abbey's history, so Selby was founded in 1069 by a monk called Benedict. So he actually came over from Auxerre in France, where he was a monk in a monastery across there. The kind of, I suppose, legend goes it that he had a vision of Saint Germain, who is one of our patron saints at the Abbey, who told him to sail across to England, where he would see 3 swans on a river, and that's when he would know that he was in Selby. And one of the things that he did, so in Auxerre, in the kind of crypt underneath the monastery, Saint Germain's body was there, and the legend goes that he cut off his finger, cut a hole in his arm, put the finger in, sewed it up and got on a boat, and it magically healed. I mean, I'll let you make your own mind up about whether whether you think, we do think he probably did bring a relic over. Whether it was his finger, we don't know because we've never found it. So this is the south entrance here. When Benedict came over, the original abbey was kind of a temporary wooden structure that which is a few hundred metres on the opposite side of this, where I am here in the model. And it wasn't until Abbot Hugh came a few years later that this stone structure started to be built, which is what we see here. And that's if you pop into the abbey and do come and see us, that's what's here now. And there is not a donkey on site, so apologies for that if you do come. So this now is the east end, and you can see here one of our, what we call, well, we call it the greatest window. So this is the Jessie window. I'll show you kind of a better view from the inside so you can see it a little bit better. But the top is a doom window, and the underneath is a depiction of Jesus' family tree. So it's Jessie's at the bottom, but again, I'll show you that when we come round. So I'll come round to this way. So again, this is the north side of the abbey. I'll zoom out so you can see a little bit more. Some of the windows do disappear when we go a little bit further away, so they are there. I'll zoom in closer, don't worry. And I can come round here. See the north side. And then round. And what I can do actually is take you up onto the tower, and you can see the rest of Selby if you are familiar with us.
I can't get it on this.
This is kind of the view. We are looking at starting tower tours very soon. We're just fixing something in the tower, and then hopefully we should be good to go with them. So this is kind of your virtual view of what you would see if you came up to the top of the tower. As part of the project going forward, we are looking at building more of Selby. So this is the crescent on this side. Here. And then around, we've obviously just got the streets laid at the minute, but we hope kind of the college will get involved and build a little bit more for us going forward. As part of the project, we have had workshops with children who have built things that they'd like to see in Selby. So we're going to import some of those onto the map as well. We've had a few interesting things. So we had a roller coaster that was built inside the abbey and a water slide coming off the top, and someone that replaced every single block of the abbey with a pink block, which was my personal favourite. There are lots of kind of wacky things. They may or may not import, so I will take you inside.
Put it on there so I can pick my drink up of it. Oh, it's not as nice having coffee through a straw. It's not as nice having coffee through a straw and drinking it.
So this is our west door, so if I pop through. So this is the font in front of us here, and this is obviously the nave, so this is what we call the people's part of the church, and this is where we have our Sunday services. And if you come in, this is my favourite part of the church, just because the view when you walk in is incredible. So do pop in and see us if you haven't already. So the font here, this has been moved. I think I've seen some things online with a bit of debate about when was it moved recently. So it did used to be on this pillar here, this block here, but it has been moved here back to its original place. Obviously in Minecraft we're limited with how circular we can get things, so the actual font is a circle, well, circular shape, so obviously we've had to do it as a block. But the reason that it's here is that when the priests do baptisms, it marks the start of the Christian, well, that individual's journey in the Christian faith. So the fonts tend to be right near the door and kind of symbolise that journey. So one of the things we've been able to do in the Minecraft model that we haven't, that kind of makes it unique and a little bit different, is we can put the passages in that only staff have access to for safety reasons. So I can show you kind of how we get around in the walls, I suppose. So this door here is one of our secret passages. There's lots of stairs, so you'll have to bear with me. I've lost a bit of weight since working at the Abbey because of all the stairs. So if we pop up. So this is going to take us to what we call the Triforium. So there's 3 layers. I'll show you when we go back down, but there are 3 layers to the Abbey's kind of structure and the arches. So this is, at the minute, we use this just for storage. So you can see kind of down here how the layers, so you've got 1, 2, and then 3 right at the top. So this is what's known as the Triforium. What I will do is pop down here. This is one of my favourite views from the Abbey. So this is a balcony that sometimes wedding photographers will use. We'll come up here and is access to kind of radiators and pipes and that kind of stuff for us. The view actually from here is very accurate. So it is a scale model. So it's, I can't remember the exact scale, but it's 1:1. With a little bit of artistic license because of the blocks. But if I look up here, so that's our roof. The gold bits there are our roof bosses. So again, there was a limit to the amount of detail we could get on those, but they symbolise our roof bosses. And again, if you pop in, we've got mirrors that you can kind of zoom in and see them. And this is our west window. I'll just pop round so you can see it a little bit better. And again, this is the second Triforium, the other side of the Triforium, this is our north side. And that's our west window. So that depicts Jesus on the cross there, that's what that means. What I can do actually, I think, is walk all the way along. And fly out. So there you go, I can zoom into the window. And again, the kids are always amazed at the windows because it's not something they've usually ever seen before being popped into Minecraft. So that's just one of the things there. So I'll pop back down. Obviously the Abbey used to be part of a larger monastery that kind of spread across Selby. One of the things that I wanted them to do was show, if anyone can see that little hole thing that I'm looking at there, I'll zoom up. So we think that this used to be a door to some night stairs that monks would use during the night. So they would get up at kind of 2 in the morning and pop across to the Abbey from their dormitory to start praying. And we think that this was what was used so they didn't have to go outside. So there's been a staircase. So what I will do now is pop further down the Abbey. Again, these seats here represent our pews. We've currently got we've been depued, so we've just got red chairs now. And this is our dais. So this is, well, it's called the crossing, but this raised platform here is called a dais. And this here represents our altar. So this is where our priests give the Sunday service from. And you can tune into one of those on our YouTube channel as well. So if you did want to experience it, but maybe don't feel comfortable coming in, you can watch a clip on YouTube and see that it's not that scary. We also have the pulpit here, so I can go up and show you that view. And this is the view that obviously only priests normally get to see. Don't stand on the left turn there. And it does give you a good kind of representation of the scale and just how large we are when you come up here.
We tried to lift it.
Yeah, especially that square bit.
Yeah.
This here is our north transept. It currently houses our coffee shop.
Yeah.
But we also have our St. Germain window, if I come in a little bit more. So this window depicts the life of St. Germain, and probably the most interesting thing, there's actually two interesting things I'll show you. So this here, this scene, the bottom right panel, you can see how far I can get in without going blurry. This here is Benedict, so this figure in a brown robe, and this here is Germain, so earlier when I said about the vision. And that there is Selby. I know it's quite difficult to see with it being blurry, and that's kind of the scene of the vision of Germain telling Benedict to come to Selby. And if I zoom up, I'll see if we can see it. Oh. So this figure here, kind of circling around with my cross, is Mary Sandering. So if you know a little bit about stained glass, you might know. Often you'll see the person who donated the funds for the window is shown them. So that's Mary Sandering. So she was the lady who donated the funds for this window. And if you do, it's quite difficult to see on this again, but she's in blue and she resembles quite a lot like Margaret Thatcher. If you do pop in, you'll be able to see, and it's quite strange because that window was put in the early 20th century, so long before Margaret Thatcher's time. I won't take you in there just because it's our toilets and there's not really anything interesting to see. So as we come down here, so this is what we call our south choir aisle. Come down and show you a little bit more. So this here is what we call our resurrection chapel. And we often leave this as a space for people to reflect if they want to come in and just have some time. And we've got some candles burning today, which is great. And one of our windows that people love to come and see is what is known as the Washington window. So I'll zoom up. And that is here. If you can see the first kind of coat of arms on the left, that is George Washington, who is believed to be, well, he is the ancestor of George Washington, his coat of arms. And there's a little bit of debate about whether that's the beginnings of the American flag, so it's kind of the stars and the stripes. But again, if you pop in, there's loads of information, and I'll let you make your own mind up because we had quite a heated debate yesterday in the Abbey about that. And there's a lot more kind of heraldry as well if you're interested in that. So come down and you can see the high altar. Again, we're limited to how much detail we can put in with it being Minecraft. So we've got, there we go. So the brown bit is to represent the reredos at the back, so that's our screen. And then if I come further up, actually, you can see there's a separate altar in front here. These candles here, well, this one here is supposed to represent our ever kind of burning candle, so that's supposed to burn 24/7. Looks like it's gone out on the model, which isn't ideal. But if you do pop in, you will see it burning. This is the place where the priests give Eucharist, and we're currently having our Monday and Thursday services in here as well. So here is our choir stalls, and we can go and sit in them if we want to. And up here at this end, so the choir sing from here, and we're starting evensong tomorrow night. So you can see them there as well. So this here represents our organ. If I come back down and you can see. So this is the William Hill, to represent the William Hill organ. And everything here that's brown is obviously wood. And this has all been refurbished because in 1906 we suffered a big fire. So again, if you're local to Selby, you probably already know this. So everything that's brown here would have been destroyed and it's been newly refurbished. It is believed that someone who was replacing mending the organ during that restoration left a candle burning and it caught fire. And it wasn't until there was flames kind of popping out the top of the tower that people realised the abbey was on fire, and it destroyed all of the roof. If you pop onto our website, there's quite a few pictures, and I think on our Facebook page there'll be some as well, that show kind of just the devastation, really. Back along here and go down this is our south choir aisle. And I'll pop in here. So this is what we call our St. Nicholas Centre. So we often use this for meetings, groups. If you've been to any kind of events over the summer, we've done a lot in here. This is currently set up like how we would use it for a service. So obviously we've got another altar. But one of the interesting things, again, that you can access if you come in, but we've been able to do on the model, is our Scriptorium. So a Scriptorium is where monks would have used to write and read. And then in the early 20th century, after the dissolution, so after the monastery was disbanded and we became a parish church again, later on, in the early 20th century, this room here was actually used as a school. And I think it's called Blue Coat School. But now it's used for choir practice. And it is set up quite similar, actually, to how we see here.
Connecting or not?
Come back down. Like I said, there's a lot of stairs, so I'm sorry you're having to look at walls while I come back down. So at the bottom here is what we call our St. Germain chapel. So if you pop into the Abbey, you'll see we've had an icon commission. So that was done as part of the 2019 festival, and it took 2 years to dry. So if you come now, you'll see it and it'll actually be dry. And this is just one of our chapels. And I'll pop in here. And this is another one of our small chapels. This is probably the only part on the model, if you are kind of know the Abbey and are local to Selby or have been in and seen us before, that we've struggled to make exactly accurate just because of how much space the blocks take up and to get it looking right. This is our Lady Chapel. Fly up and I'll show you the window that I mentioned when we were outside earlier. So this is our Jessie window. So this is known, well, it's known as kind of the second greatest example of a doom window in the UK. Second, of course, to Upminster. So if I come up here, so the top bit is the doom and the bottom bit, so the top bit is the doom where the tracery is, and the bottom bit is the Jessie bit, which depicts Jesus' family tree. Again, if you pop in, you'll get a much better view. Just because
Emma just tried to ring and I just couldn't get my phone quick enough.
Oh.
I'm going to have to call her back a minute.
Yeah. We'll just see if you bring it. You want to watch that?
Fly across here so you can see everything from a bird's eye view. If anyone's got any questions, do please kind of shout up or pop them in the chat and we'll try and monitor them.
A bit of soil down, a bit more soil, give it good watering.
Yeah.
And a bit of general seed over it. Just
Yeah.
works, it works, doesn't it?
Yeah. 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 Thing is,
well, no, but I mean, you know, you can still just in another week or so do the same.
I can just ask you to mute your microphones if you are
It's
on and
surprising
not
how
asking a
quick it
question.
sprouts.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you across and show you Abbott Staith. So this is the medieval warehouse. It is still there. Unfortunately, it's kind of been built upon. We've put a little kind of transportation in so we don't have to walk through town to get there. Oh, I can't actually. So here we go. Oh, I've got a question in the chat. So this is the Staith. Again, this has had a little bit of artistic license, and we've kind of done it as it was a medieval Staith, so a warehouse. I can show you. Go in.
Yeah, I must be.
You don't look like a gollywog. No.
There we go. So again, it doesn't look like this on the inside now, so this is what we've just kind of used as historical evidence. As part of the project, we have scanned 10 3D objects that were chosen as part of the Heritage Action Zone project. When we've put them into Minecraft, it hasn't exactly worked. So this is all trial and error and not something that's really been done before. So we're working on kind of getting this to look right. So this is a stone finial. So it's an archaeological find from the Abbott Staith dig. So they do some archaeological work down here. And that's that. If you pop onto our website, selbyabbey.org, selbyabbey.org.uk, you will be able to see all of the scans, and they look a lot better than they do in here. They look like proper objects, like you're holding them. So we are working on that. So again, this is where they'd have stored grain. So there's bales of hay down there. And it's perfectly positioned because it's right on the ooze. So they could take shipments from the river. Will I pop out here? Again, if you do want to see the Abbott Staith, I think they are doing some tours on our Heritage Open Day next Saturday. You'll just need to go onto their website and find out the information for those. They are hard hat tours and there is some access issues, so do look into that carefully if you're considering going, just to make sure it's suitable. And again, there you go. So at the minute, there is parts of this visible. If you go on Google Maps, you'll be able to see, and then you can walk around, but there is a pub that's been built onto the side of it before planning regulations were a thing. So there is a group trying to kind of save it and work out what to do with it. But we can... Try and go back to the Abbey, so I don't have to walk. Looks like fine. So like I said, we've only done the street map of Selby so far, but you can see the distance there. It's really not far from us, but it does give you that kind of spread of how big the monastery actually was. And people used to come from around, and Selby built up because of the support the monastery gave in terms of healthcare to local people. We were a Benedictine monastery, I'm not sure if I've mentioned that. So. These white bits of clouds, by the way, I've also had questions about that before. There we go. So yeah, if anyone's got any questions, I'm more than happy to take them. Or if there's anything you want to see again, I think I've probably whizzed through that. see the windows. Again, for those that joined us halfway through, if you are interested in Minecraft and how it was built, I've popped a speed build in the chat, and you can see kind of block for block how they've done it. And it was Crash Labs was the company that we worked with to create this. We will be doing more workshops and kind of morphing more of it as we go along. So look out on our Eventbrite and website and Facebook pages to see what's going on, because I'd love to do this again in a few months where we've got even more of Selby built and more to show you and stuff to do. So do keep in touch. I will also send, because we've recorded this, I'll just edit the beginning off and I'll send a link round because it will go on our YouTube for those who couldn't make it today. So if you enjoyed it that much, you want to watch it again, it will be available for you. What I can do is actually come up here and show you the church. So as you can see, we, and like most other churches, I think probably all of the churches, are cruciform shaped, which means that we're a cross. You can see it a little bit better. And that is for obvious reasons, that represents the crucifixion. Yeah, this is the market square here. Yeah, I think that's probably it from me. If anyone's got any questions, do feel free to stay on the call. I'll kind of zoom around a bit because I know some people just like to see it as I go around. And if you've got any questions on the build, do feel free to ask as well. Other than that, thank you very much for coming. We love to share it with you because it's been super popular. So yeah, thank you very much, and do stay in touch and pop in and see us. And you can see how accurate it is, which is great. Question. Able to access the server? Yes, you can. What I will do is, as part of Eventbrite's kind of booking process, they send an email out just saying thank you. So I will pop the server in there. You can't build anything on the server because we don't have the mechanisms in place to moderate it at the minute. So if you did want to kind of build with us and onto the server, you'd have to log on to a session. But you can check out and fly around and do all of that kind of stuff. So I'll pop that in the email that Eventbrite sends afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you can visit Selby Abbey during the day. So we're open 7 days a week, 10 till 4 at the moment. And yeah, we'd love to see you. We are free to enter, and there's always welcomers on the door so they can help you with whatever you need. We also run tours, so you can access those through our website to book on and see what we've got going on. Some of them are just turn up. And you can also request bespoke things as well, if there's stuff you're interested in. But yeah, do come and see us.
I just don't see the background there. Yeah, that's the Abbey open here. Movement, and it's every day. 10 to 4 every day. You can go on the website, look at this. It's open to all people.
Yeah.
It's always been on the door to welcome you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thanks. We love the stained glass replication as well. So we didn't expect it to look as good as it did. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. So we're really happy with the way it's turned out. And that's partially due to our volunteers and their kind of ability to, well, the project that they took on, which was to document and photograph and kind of map all of the stained glass windows. So we knew exactly where they went, exactly what they meant, and had good enough imagery to do this. Yeah, which has been so Selby Abbey is located in Selby. So we're in North Yorkshire, so we're about 20 minutes from York, just to the south of York. And we'd love to see you if you ever come over. So do pop down. We're really easy to get to from York and Manchester and Hull and all of the kind of the huge cities nearby. Because we've got a really good rail and public transport network, and we're on the main roads as well. So, well, from Selby at least. Oh, thanks for tuning in. I love doing these because we get people from all over the world coming in and seeing us that we can't always interact with in Selby. But next time you're over, pop in. I think there was a lady on the last one who moved to Auxerre, which was great. Right, I think we're kind of dwindling on numbers now. So I am going to go and start working on the rest of our Heritage Open Days bits and bobs. So this was our first event as part of the Heritage Open Days programme over the week, and we just wanted to make sure we could share everything that we're doing with those who might not be able to get to Selby. So yeah, thank you very much for coming, and yes, thank you Beatrix and Lynn. It's been great to chat to you all and see you, and I'm so glad we can share this with you. Like I say, look out for the kind of next phase of this project, because there'll be lots coming up, and hopefully we'll do some more stuff online so we can engage with people all across the world again. So yeah, thank you very much, and hopefully see you all soon. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.